Welcome back to the Garden with Joy and Holly radio show. Thank you for allowing us to be part of your world today. You got a question and answer time. You can submit that a couple of ways by going to your email box and sending it to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com. Or if you'd like to talk to us, you can do that at 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469. If we can't get to you, leave a message and we will get back with get your answer answered. Had a number of questions come in this week, Holly. Well, a number of them are canning, as you talked about in the second segment there. We're going to see what we can get through. I have canned tomatoes, and I have lost about 2 to 3 inches of liquid in each jar. What did I do wrong?
Well, sometimes when you're canning anything with liquid, this does occur, but you want to make sure you're canning at the proper process for your height above sea level. A lot of times that causes an issue. Another issue is just making sure that your jars, your lids are on tight enough. I know we say don't, put them on like you're the Hulk, but definitely make sure they are tight enough because some liquid can escape during canning. That's normal. So just things like that. Make sure you are following the proper process. It does happen. It's going to happen.
All right, next question. Another person wrote in about, I canned tomatoes and I packed the jars as full as I could as the instructions told me to from Ball. Once they came out of the canner, they had about 2 inches of water or liquid at the base of the jar. The tomatoes had floated up. What happened? Why did they float when I packed them in so tight?
It's a thing. Fruit floats.
It's a thing. Science, yeah. It's a thing.
Yeah, it's just how it works. Fruit floats. Tomatoes are fruit. It's just going to happen.
Does that have more to do in some aspects to it was overripe or underripe, or does that have anything to do with the floatiness of the fruit?
Typically not. It's just how it happens. The floatiness of the fruit. That's a word.
Floatiness of the fruit.
Science, yeah.
Right. I accidentally cut a spaghetti squash that was still green and soft white. And I accidentally dropped it, and the skin peeled off there. It's immature. Can I still eat it, or should I just toss it in the compost and wait for another one to grow?
You can eat it. It might not taste like a spaghetti squash, but you could experiment with cooking it. There's nothing wrong with eating underripe squash.
No, it just may not have that punch or pizzazz that you would expect it to. So that's just one of those things. And you might have one of those pumpkin zucchini squashes where it's crossed because they're all in the same family. I've seen a lot of images on Facebook where it's supposed to be a spaghetti squash, but it has the pumpkin zucchini skin texture to it. And we've had a couple of those in the past where we grew spaghetti squash, but when we harvested it and cut it open, it was a pumpkin basically had cross-pollinated. So that is a common thing. It wasn't that tasty, but it is a common thing. What's our next question, Holly?
My onions went through the whole process, the whole cycle, and then started dropping their seeds on their own before I collected them. Can they still be saved and planted next year without the manual drying process? I would like to think so, but that's probably not how it happens in the wild.
So if the onion is going to seed, whether it's the first year because of stress or you planted a plant, the little bulblets, and it's thinking it's in the second year, onions are biennial, so they're going to go to seed, and this would be exactly the same for leeks as well. You can save those seeds before they drop on the ground. I'm not quite certain of what the question is directing towards. If she or he is asking if I let them be, will they seed themselves? That can potentially happen because obviously onions naturally seed themselves in the wild or in nature. However, if you can start them indoors and save the seeds, you're guaranteed you're going to get a much healthier, better plant start doing it that way. So I don't know if we've answered the question, but we've given information in regards to it. All right. Next question. Wait, have I missed something? I just bought a bunch of 64-ounce jars to can pinto beans in. Why is this not safe? We touched on it slightly in the segment 2 of the program, but again, we've got a little more time here. Why is it not safe to can in 64-ounce or half-gallon mason jars, Holly, whenever Ball makes half-gallon mason jars?
That's a lot of pinto beans. So you want to.
Some people like pinto beans.
No, I'm not. That's no judgment. I'm just saying that's a lot of pinto beans. So it's essentially because, especially when it comes to pinto beans, those are dense and it's not going to get through to the center of the jar. Essentially, the heat, the process, all that, when it's a 64-ounce jar. So it's not safe. That's why you can only safely can grape juice and apple juice in the half-gallon jars.
Now, when you mean the internal center portion of that jar, there's not enough every heat, pressure, all that to safely preserve those beans or whatever else you're canning. Now, many of our grandparents, and maybe some of you who are listening, remember canning almost everything in half-gallon jars. Like the saying is, different time, different era, different decade, things have, I guess it wasn't safe back then, but nobody knew it wasn't safe back then.
Yeah, like maybe Uncle Bob dropped dead for no reason, and it could have been botulism.
Right. But so that, that's why, people can for years in half-gallon, but science has shown in Ball canning this is not safe anymore. Only the two things. So with that being said, hey there, gardeners. Thanks for checking out this segment of the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. If you like what you've seen, you can search through the channel and find full in-studio videos of the entire show. If you want to go another route, you can search for it on your favorite podcast platform by searching the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener radio show or the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show, and you can download it and take it with you. You can check out all past seasons at our website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, under the radio tabs at the top of the page. We thank you for joining us. We hope you've learned and enjoyed the show, the segment, and we'll see you next time.